I used to believe that love was enough. That if two people promise forever, nothing could shake it. I was wrong. My fiancé didn't just leave me. He left me for someone richer. And I found out on the day that was supposed to be our wedding. His name was Daniel. We met when we were both struggling. He was building a startup that barely made money, and I was working 2 jobs to help support my mom. We weren't glamorous. We weren't powerful. But we were in love. At least I thought we were. For 3 years I stood beside him. When his business failed the first time. When investors laughed at his pitch. When he doubted himself at 2 in the morning and said he wasn't good enough. I believed in him when no one else did. When he proposed, it wasn't extravagant. It was simple. A small ring. A quiet dinner. Tears in his eyes. He said, "When I make it big, I'll give you the wedding you deserve." I told him I didn't need big. I just needed him. Somewhere along the way, everything changed. About 6 months before our wedding, his company finally took off. A major investor stepped in. The money started flowing. Suddenly we were going to business parties, luxury dinners, rooms filled with people who wore confidence like designer suits. That's when I met her. Her name was Victoria. She was the daughter of one of the investors. Polished, elegant, effortlessly wealthy. The kind of woman who didn't check price tags. The kind of woman who had never worried about rent. First, I didn't feel threatened. Daniel introduced me proudly. "This is my fiancé," he would say, his hand resting on my back. But over time his hand stopped resting there. He started staying late at meetings, taking calls in other rooms, changing passwords, buying new suits, talking about expanding his circle. I told myself I was overthinking, that success just changed routines, not hearts. Then one night I saw the message. It popped up on his laptop while he was in the shower. "Victoria. I can't wait until this wedding is out of the way." My heart didn't shatter. It froze. I didn't confront him. Not then. I needed to know how deep it went. Over the next few weeks I watched. Listened. Pretended. I found hotel receipts. Private dinners. Transfers of money I didn't recognize. Promises. And then I saw the real plan. He wasn't just cheating. He was planning to leave me quietly after the wedding. He wanted the publicity. The clean image. The sympathy. A mutual separation months later. Meanwhile, he would officially partner with Victoria's family business. I wasn't his partner anymore. I was his stepping stone. The wedding day arrived like a slow storm. White dress. Perfect makeup. Guests smiling. My mother crying happy tears. Everything looked like a fairy tale. Inside I felt nothing. Daniel stood at the altar confident. Charming. Everyone's favorite success story. When the officiant asked if anyone objected, there was silence. And then I did something no one expected. I raised my hand. First, people thought I was joking. A nervous bride. A dramatic pause. I took the microphone. My hands were steady. "I have something to share before we continue," I said. Daniel's smile tightened. I connected my phone to the projector. The same screen that was supposed to display childhood photos and engagement memories. Instead, it displayed screenshots. Messages between Daniel and Victoria. Plans. Dates. Conversations about using the wedding for public image. Discussions about merging assets. The room didn't gasp immediately. It went quiet. Dead quiet. Victoria was sitting in the 3rd row. Her face drained of color. Daniel stepped toward me, whispering harshly, "What are you doing?" I looked at him calmly. "Finishing what you started." I didn't scream. I didn't insult him. I just read one message out loud. "Victoria. Once you're officially married, your valuation doubles. Then we restructure." She won't even see it coming. The guests began murmuring. Phones came out. His investors were there. Her father was there. The humiliation he planned for me quietly unfolded publicly instead. Daniel tried to grab the microphone. I stepped back. "You didn't just betray me," I said. "You tried to use me." Victoria stood up, furious. "This is inappropriate," she snapped. I looked at her. So was the affair. Her father looked between them, furious. The wedding dissolved in chaos. Investors left. Family members argued. My mother held my hand, trembling but proud. Daniel followed me outside, still in his tuxedo. "You ruined everything," he hissed. I almost laughed. "No," I said softly. "You did." I walked away in my wedding dress, heels in my hand, mascara finally smudging. But here's the part no one expects. I didn't just expose him emotionally. I protected myself legally. Months earlier, when I first suspected something was wrong, I consulted a lawyer quietly. Because although I loved him, I wasn't naive. The house? In my name. The shared accounts? Structured with protective clauses. The small percentage of early company equity he had given me when he couldn't afford to pay me back for loans? Locked under contract. When the scandal broke online, his company valuation didn't double. It dropped. Major investors pulled back. Victoria's father withdrew support immediately. The image of the loyal, humble founder collapsed overnight. Within weeks, Daniel reached out again. Not to apologize. To negotiate. He wanted me to sign over my equity quietly. Said it would help stabilize things. I told him something simple. "You said I wouldn't see it coming." Then I hung up. I didn't destroy him. I didn't sue. I didn't chase revenge. I kept what was legally mine. And I walked away. A year later, I used that equity payout to start my own consulting firm. Smaller. Leaner. Built on transparency. People often ask me if I regret exposing him publicly. I don't. Because he didn't leave me for love. He left me for leverage. He thought money made him powerful. But power isn't about who you upgrade to. It's about who you underestimate. On what was supposed to be my wedding day, I lost a fiancé. But I gained something far more important. Clarity. And sometimes, clarity is the most expensive truth of all.